Okay. This is a lot like a Neverwinter Nights mission. Neverwinter Nights 2. Never mind about that. And it looks like at this part of the game, these Rancors keep on respawning. And they're good XP, so you can just keep on killing those Rancors until you get to level 20, or whatever the final level you can get to is. But I'm not going to do that because it sort of seems like a metagame thing, where you're thinking about it in terms of it being a game. And I mean, there are other things like that, but yeah, I'm trying to not try too hard. But then I already know how to beat the game. So I'm subconsciously making micro decisions where I should still be able to beat the game when I get to the final boss, and I'm just like acting like I'm not trying too hard, like this is really easy to do. When actually, you know, if you don't know, if you've never seen this game or played it before, you're probably not gonna beat it on the first try. And then it was just a huge waste of time. Yeah, it's like, how could anyone enjoy this game? Yeah. Yeah, people just like Star Wars. They even made the Old Republic MMO. I don't know if they still say MMORPG, and I don't know if it's directly related to these games, or if it's just called the Old Republic. A coincidence. And oh yeah, I just started using my force powers, and I have like my Jedi robes on, and yeah, I was doing a lot more damage there than I have been this entire game so far. I don't know why my light side, dark side meter is showing me as dark side. Maybe you just turn to the dark side, sort of, when you find out that you're Revan. I'm not sure. I don't think I was making any big dark side choices, but I have just sort of been playing like a slacker who doesn't really care about anything and who keeps on making jokes, or like a scoundrel. But I actually chose Scout, you know, because I wasn't really trying to be a super soldier. But then I should have chosen Scoundrel, you know, looking back. It's like if I knew what I know now, I would have chosen Scoundrel. But yeah, and then I chose Jedi Counselor because I was trying to choose bad options. Well, not the worst options. For all I know, Sentinel is the worst, but probably not. It's probably not the worst option. But Guardian is the best. Yeah, Guardian Soldier. Do Guardian Soldier next time, you'll have a better playthrough. You know. And yeah, get your Jedi robes on right away, or your Sith robes, or then it's sort of difficult to play the game as a Sith, at least when you're recording it, but that's what I'm sort of toying with the idea of doing, but then it's like you don't really want that to be a great video. You know, it's not exactly like your ultimate playthrough. And then you almost need to play as a Jedi to make up for it. I didn't cast all my force powers that time. I didn't use my force resistances because I was seeing which force powers do I need to use. Do I need to use all of them each time? Because then I have to wait for my force mana to come back. And you know, I'm like thinking about it and aware of it. But I was wandering around the map too and sort of going in the wrong direction. And it seems like everyone who plays this game has to put the controller down and step back from the game for a little bit to wait for their force mana to come back so that they can keep on healing themselves. And then you can also use your level ups to heal you. And it almost seems like it forces you to play that way, or everyone thinks of doing that. And then you're not supposed to use your med packs unless you absolutely have to, because you can't just buy them at the store. You have a limited amount. And some battle stims can heal you too, and then you have to use your med packs from the main menu. Not the main menu, but when you pause the game, the pause menu. Yeah, and those are all sort of strange things. Yeah, it is kind of a strange experience. I mean, it's difficult when you're older to be into the story of the game, but as a child, you were actually imagining this stuff, sort of. I mean, I don't really want to reminisce about childhood, or then when computer gaming was just starting, with the game being available on computer, maybe it would have been a good option for your laptop. It can't do better graphics, but actually, on computer, the first game doesn't seem to be running too well. I got it on Xbox One, but the second game seems to be running well on computer. And maybe you'll do one more playthrough of the game real quick, to see how much, see if it's any better playing it again while it's still in your short-term memory, and playing it harder. I mean, I can't imagine it being better. It just sounds ridiculous describing it. It just sounds ridiculous. And then, you wouldn't want to do a third playthrough after that, thinking that a final Jedi playthrough was necessary because you needed to balance out all your Force options, because that's also ridiculous to me. Because it's a video game, even though it's a little bit more than a video game when you're recording it, because now you're making all this stuff sort of permanent. But no, it's not. I mean, look at it. Look at what it is. This is ridiculous. Read the dialogue. Miss the dialogue. Force or master speed. It's basically just master speed and Force Valor. And it's also kind of funny, like Force Valor. Yeah, it is sort of strange, but then it's almost like these KOTOR games are sort of leaning towards the dark side a little bit. But then, when you record it, you can't exactly choose dark side in a public video. Or, what would that be like when you're publicly going as Sith in Star Wars video games and trying to get people to watch you? Right. But yeah, maybe I'll do a Jedi playthrough on the second one. Well, do you think you're going to do 2 playthroughs of the next game? Gosh. No, it doesn't seem like it really matters either way. Because if you're going to do a second playthrough of this, and you're going to be Sith, then you might want to start Sith on the second one, and then do a Jedi playthrough. But that just seems like it's ridiculous to play these games because they're so old. It's disturbing. Yeah, he probably thinks he's good at it too. And Master Speed is giving you more attacks per round, just like Flurry of Blows, but you're not getting the negatives, the negative modifiers to the attacks. And then Force Valor is giving you attribute points. It's only 2 attribute points, so that might just be a +1 modifier, but I think it might be applying that buff to your allies. And yeah, that's how you could build your cleric or wizard in D&D, is using buff magic. But people don't like you doing that. Because it's not really cool to have a bunch of enchantments on you and mage armor and stuff. You know, imagine a bunch of like rainbow ethereal armor around you and glitter and sparkle dust. And yeah, that's one way of looking at it. And then besides that, you know, people don't like people giving each other back rubs or foot massages. You know, like, hey, stop trying to pat me on the back, you know. Or like, what do you think you're doing buffing up my character and then expecting me to go and do your dirty work for you? There's a lot of different criticism about it. Or then, while you have those buffs on, you're a lot stronger than you normally would be, which is then, you know, hubris. Right. Well, whatever. You probably don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Let's go!
But then, oh, and then besides that, then you'd have to also take the time in the game to cast all that magic. You know, you'd be casting one buff around on your turn, maybe mass buff, you know. And it's just like, okay. And it's also kind of silly, like if it's an enlarged person, you know, like ball strength, bear endurance, enlarged person. Just like, right, you know, mage armor. You know, I put mage armor on him, I put greater mage armor on him. Yeah. Or, you know, I thought it was cool when I was in high school. Like, this game's fun. I like this game. It almost seems like a wizard or a cleric is even better than fighters if they can cast their magic on themselves. Yeah, it almost does seem like that. And then I have to hear myself talking about it. In high school, I probably thought I was good at Dungeons and Dragons. But then that was 3.5 Dungeons & Dragons, and then 4th edition came out, and 5th edition came out. And, yeah, now there's just these awkward conversations telling people about it, sort of. And, yeah, you know, you don't like it, your friends don't like it. Or, I still like it enough that I'd be comfortable streaming myself playing Dungeons and Dragons online, but then your friends don't want to stream Dungeons and Dragons online and be in a Dungeons and Dragons video with you publicly. Like, maybe we could still hang out, but we don't want to hang out publicly in a video that permanently happens and put that video online. And I'm like, you know, that's what the price is now. It's like, I want to stream our Dungeons and Dragons sessions online and keep, you know, video records. Yeah, and you know, that's sort of where it ended. Yeah, you'll play your character differently too if you know, there's a possibility of anyone hearing what your character does. Definitely sort of changes things, but most people aren't really comfortable being filmed or video recorded. Yep.
Intruder! Contact 1 here at KOTOR!
Master speed. I don't know if I leveled up in front of the video. I should have. I must have, because now the level thing is gone. But I think I've increased my Force Valor to Night Valor, taking it from like a 2 to a 3 or a 4. Then I think I leveled up again, and I got Master Valor, which is +5. Which makes them really strong. Sure it does. Sure it does. Yeah, I'm using one of my med packs, and I said, hey, don't use med packs. And then you can also use those adrenaline stims. Yeah, I used to use those all the time, but that's another thing that people can object to. Whoa, don't use any stims. You can have a really complicated opinion of how you should play this game. See how now my guy's not wearing any headgear? And you know, I have these energy shields on my arms, but I never use them. Yeah, I might as well take those off too, right? Yeah, and then cut it there, and resume after I've healed myself. Ship parts. Is that something I need? I don't know. What am I looking for around here again? Elder Warrior, you have saved me from the savages and their war beast. This looks kind of dark, almost like Legacy of Kain, the way those guys are impaled on stuff. I don't know what I could have done if you had not come. I suppose I would be dead now, like the others, captured with me. Thank you for saving me. I shall attempt to return to the Enclave on my own. I will tell the Council of what you have done. Yeah, well, if you played the game on a bigger TV, maybe it might seem a little cooler. You're like a projector. Yeah, maybe it'd be cool on a projector. Also, it might be cool on a handheld if you can stream your Xbox to your Backbone and have the Xbox Backbone cell phone app. Then you might be able to enjoy the game as a handheld game, but that still probably won't work out too well. Yeah, that's what you said about Final Fantasy X. You probably don't want to spend that many hours playing a handheld game in your room when you could have been playing it on your TV. You know, they say, oh, I don't want to sit in front of a TV, but how is playing a handheld game better? Well, you know, it's still sort of a thing, and it kind of tempts you a little bit, because this game is sort of compared to, like, JRPGs. Or a cotton warrior. I was just thinking about how, like, see how my lightsaber is green? That means I'm a Jedi counselor. And, you know, someone else could have been like, yeah, I know what the Jedi's lightsaber colors mean. Yeah, no. See, more Rancors. You know, maybe they don't keep on respawning, but they've kept respawning this time. Seems like you'd only need to do that spot like 10 times. But then it doesn't really matter. You know, why get stronger though? In a lot of JRPGs, things just scale with you. Like they just scaled with you in South Park. Or then in Final Fantasy X, maybe at a certain point you're only making the final boss more difficult. But if you want to believe you're good at it, then you'd want to, you know, just like DBZ or something else like that, DMC, you'd want the final boss to be as powerful as it could be before you would defeat it to make it more challenging. But most people aren't going to be thinking that way. Because it's also sort of a joke in a video game trying to make it more powerful, because the thing could just be impossible and invincible and stuff. They could just make it as difficult as they wanted. It wouldn't even matter. Though it wouldn't be so difficult that it would come out of the TV and kill you, like in the movie The Ring. Well, let's hope it never gets to that point. Or is that what's happening here? Revan, you are back. Our scout has told us of how you rescued him. His injuries are severe, but we believe he will survive. We are grateful for what you have done. So now you will help me? Risking your own life to save our scout seems to prove that you have changed significantly since the last time you were here, Revan. You have deceived us before. We must discuss this in greater detail. We must have some privacy, Revan. We will return when our deliberation has done. Revan, you have rescued a member of our tribe from the One at great personal risk to yourself. We believe this action shows you have truly changed since your last visit here. The Council has decided we will trust you once more. For many generations we have sought a way to enter the temple and discover the means to destroy the Starforge. And I suppose you should be doing an alien voice when you read these, like, please don't. But only those who can command the Force, those like you, can enter the Temple of the Ancients. We no longer have that power. That was why we helped you the last time you were here. Alien voice. But we cannot enter the temple without our help. Revan, only the ancient rituals of our people can lower the shield for you to enter. You need us now as much as we need you, Revan. For our own sake and that of the entire galaxy, we hope you truly mean to atone for your past evils. When you are ready, Revan, we will take you to the temple, but the temple is a place of sacred power. If you are to enter, you must do so alone, in the tradition followed by our Rakata ancestors for the past 1,000 generations. Why do I have to go in alone? We believe you truly wish to destroy the Star Forge this time, but the lesson of the past is not easily forgotten. We will not defile the sacred ritual a second time. Only you may enter alone. When I am ready, I will go into the temple alone. Then it is done. You have only to let us know when you are ready to enter the temple. I'll be back when I'm ready to enter the temple. As you wish, come to speak to us when you are ready to enter the temple, and we will lower the shield for you. But remember, when the time comes, you must enter the temple alone, in accordance with the traditions of the ancient Rakata. I'll just go ahead and save here.